Man, I have no idea what I'm doing. Do people even like Noia? How am I even supposed to know if people like what I'm doing? That'll work. Hello everybody and welcome back to Noia Dev, the series that aims to prove that one developer can create a successful MMO RPG. My name is Dane and I have good news, everyone. Noia's first dungeon is complete. Well, at least the map and the monsters are. Still working on the quest and loot portion of it. To give a little recap, this dungeon is called the Catacombs of the Lost. It's the first group-oriented area and content that the players will have the opportunity to fight through, and it is by no means required content. Before assaulting the Queen's throne, our boy Morb here will mention the Catacombs as an optional side quest in order to collect a few more additional materials for his militia. The player can decide to just go straight to the Queen's throne in order to leave the Underworld right away if that's what they want to do. The dungeon is tuned for players level 5 or higher, and being that it is so low level and in an area that the players might not be able to easily return to, I don't expect players to be running the dungeon multiple times. Because of this, I decided to make the weapons from this dungeon a quest reward rather than a chance at boss loot. Players will have to consider which reward is best for them. And although I do think that the bosses should drop something, I'll have to figure out what that something is later. I also need to figure out what weapon skills that these weapons should have, as they are going to be more powerful than the basic equipment that you start off with. So if you have any ideas for some cool weapon skills, let me know down in the comments. I wanted each area of this dungeon to have monsters along the same theme as that area's boss. For the worm boss, I created these roly-poly bugs that can charge at the players. These charge attacks really hurt, and if multiple bugs are pulled at once, they can quickly overwhelm a party if they're not constantly on the move. They even managed to kill me in admin mode. For the tree boss, I created these stationary saplings. They can't walk around, but their range allows them to attack their target from nearly anywhere with these root spikes. Last devlog, I was able to show off the worm boss's sprite sheet. Hey, future Dane here. I need some help from you guys. I don't want to keep calling these bosses Skelly, Tree, and Worm bosses, and if you notice, I'm not the best at naming things, so get in the comments and give me some names for these bosses, please. Last devlog I was able to show off the worm boss's sprite sheet, and now I can show you the completed animations. There's a bit of an issue with these attacks though. The particles all originate from what's called the effect mount point. That's this little arrow here. In single player game, this point can be moved around by an animator. If he's facing right, the point will be on the right side. If he's facing left, the point will be on the left. Makes sense. But this isn't a single player game, it's a multiplayer server and client game. The server has no need for animations or animators. Nobody's playing on the server, so sprite sheets, animations, animators, they're all turned off server side. And because of this, there's nothing there to move the effect mount point left, right, up, or down. So it just stays in one position, and that's why you see some of these particle systems appear like they're coming from the middle of the monster and not more from its mouth. I have a decent idea on how to fix this, I just haven't yet, because up until now, it wasn't a huge issue. The final thing that I need to do to complete the Underworld map is give the player their way out of the Underworld, and that is through the Queen's throne room. Spoilers, the player will meet the Queen here. This encounter sets events in motions that will set a tone for the rest of the game, and will change the world of Noia forever. I have to create one small map, another boss fight, and a cutscene. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dane, you're not that great at this voice acting thing. First off, how dare you? I am the best at voice acting.
What tarnation is that?
Secondly, I already have the audio for this new cutscene, and I didn't voice it. If you click on the credits button in the Noia logon screen, you'll see that the Queen is actually voiced by none other than Brianna Kine Fox's Ferguson. I've never directed a voice actress or actor before, so this was a eye-opening experience. Despite my fumble of an attempt to set the scene and the tone for what was going on, Brianna did an absolutely amazing job and nailed the Queen's aesthetic. And if you want to hear how it turned out, you'll just have to wait till the next devlog, or when it's in game. Ha! And that's all for this week. I have no idea what happened. YouTube exploded and suddenly we're rocketing past 1,000 subscribers, and it took me a year to get here, and in 2 weeks it doubled. I don't understand how that happens, but thank you all for that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because no one wants to play in an empty MMO, and it only helps out the community to grow it and have more people to play with. I've got to get back to work. I'm very anxious to get this new cutscene in the game. I think you're all really going to love it. It's fantastic. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.